Speaking of people who continue to play the victim even though they're not, here is today's daily dose of Michelle Obama, who has been out there trying to promote her terrible podcast that has absolutely no fan following. And she decided everything she says and does is a complaint. Everything. And so she winds up talking to Tina Knowles, also better known as Beyonce's mother. Been out there trying to promote her terrible podcast that has absolutely no fan following about marriage and divorce.
Yes, for some time now, we have been talking about Michelle Obama. If you've been following me, you realize Megyn Kelly is actually following her. She had an interview with Beyonce's mother, to promote her podcast. She said some ridiculous things. I don't know. Megyn Kelly reacted to it. I saw that video. I could not bypass. I just want to show you. It is important. We look into it. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. It will do you no harm if you share the video.
Speaking of people who continue to play the victim even though they're not.
I love the way you talk about the need to get your independence because your marriage wasn't always what it should have been.
Right.
Okay, so she's going right in, like, independence is what it's about. Of course, you had a shitty marriage. I can totally relate. And then can I just show you one more? Look at SOT 23. No, I'm sorry. It's the VO6, where the two of them get up and they start dancing. And this is part of the Michelle Obama attempted reinvention. I'm sorry, but I'm not impressed. To make herself into something cool. Here she is again. Make herself into something cool, Walter, that like we can relate to. She's a cool girl because she was first lady and that she can get up there and dance with Beyonce's mom. I'm sorry, but all I can think is you hate the country. You hate your husband, and a couple of lame steps to the left, steps to the right ain't going to cure it.
Yes, this is the fight to be relevant on social media. You need to do some kind of crazy things. They are to dance. When I look, it's funny at a certain point when I look at the videos. I don't want to play all the clips here because sometimes, it's cringe. Like I said, Megyn Kelly reactions to Michelle Obama is something that is triggering a lot of people, especially on my comment sections. I see that every single time. I like to always react to her videos talking about Michelle Obama because there are things this lady does that I will not even have that time to follow or watch that whole segment to pick out reason. I always try to search to see what she's talking about.
The whole dancing thing, of course, crested nurse orchestrated dances that were meant
and teachers.
And teachers and so on. We really have gotten the human body into American politics in the way the rest of the world must be just looking at. I mean, is there any other country in the world where they do this much dancing? The reason they do all this dancing is because they don't have any arguments. They can't speak. They can't converse. They can't argue. So the person are we going to have a dance off for the U.S. president next time? I mean, it looks like it might come at least in the next 20 years.
I don't think she's going to win. I think Trump will win that one too.
But okay, so the other night I was on the Greg Gutfeld show, and we were doing a bit about how the press is complaining that Melania isn't spending enough time in the White House. She's only been there for 14 days during this whole term so far. But what happens with every first lady after they get out of there is they tell you how much they hated living in the White House, what a trap it is, what a prison it is, how absolutely suffocating the role of first lady is. Here's Melania just saying, I got other things to do and other houses to live in, and they're criticizing her. But, on the other hand, we have Michelle telling us about this long incarceration and her marriage and her role and her White House and so on, while she dances finally free of the dude, of the house, of the place. And no wonder she has no audience, because nobody likes to tune into a podcast to hear somebody's sad stories about themselves.
Yes. Yes, all her whining. Here she is again. This woman, Tina Knowles. Okay, I don't know what she's done in her own right. I'm sure she's accomplished some things, but being Beyonce's mother is interesting. So, of course, a good interviewer would make it all about that, frankly. But Michelle, typical, makes it all about one other thing. Michelle, here is an example.
How does it feel to share your story with the world? Because let me tell you, when I wrote Becoming, I shared this. No, it's not about me, but what I'm saying is that, you know, I was all confident writing the book. Yeah. And then the day it was coming out, I could not sleep because I thought, oh my God, I told everybody everything. Everything.
Okay.
Like Megyn Kelly noted something here. She liked to complain. There has been a major issue that I've seen. You know, a lot of people criticize her as a result of that. You cannot make your life to complain about every single day. Oh, living in the White House is expensive. Oh, this. You know, if you are complaining like that, tell me how a mere citizen would do. These are people that should not even be speaking. Yeah, she's rich. The husband is rich. So you are complaining every single time that, what will I say?
She never says anything positive. It is all complaints. So she goes on another podcast. She's promoting her show, so she's making the rounds. The Diary of a CEO podcast, and actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
When you walk through a storm, keep your head held high. Show.
Big debate going on in my comments right now about Barack Obama. A lot of people think that Obama is the one that started the foolishness that we're experiencing right now, and he perpetuated race relations to the level that it is today. The ones who think that he didn't do anything but get elected as a black man, of course, are the liberals and the victim mentality people. And I'm here to tell you that the reality of the matter is he did cause racial division in the United States. Barack Obama is somebody who's well off. He grew up well off. He grew up in a great family. He is the cousin of Dick Cheney. Barack Obama did not experience any of the hardships of what black Americans in the ghetto may or may not have experienced. So after the death of Trayvon Martin, for him to get his privileged ass up there and say the things that he said, instead of being realistic and following the statistical facts, he caused racial division. He validated white supremacy, which is not a problem in the United States. That is a Democrat talking point, which is a boogeyman, meaning it's a mythical monster that doesn't exist, but people still fear it. Then he went on to lie about the interactions between the police and the black community, deciding instead of sticking to the reality of the true interactions between black men and the police, he decided to go the way of the propaganda. What he did was empowered a lot of uneducated, ignorant people to do what we have seen uneducated people doing since his presidency. You understand? The cruise ships, the Austin Metcalf debacle, you name it, the summer of burning down cities, the peaceful protests, all that shit like that. Obama was the beginning of that. Even when he came back here recently, when he addressed the black community, came out with his arms out like he one of us, like, you know, because the black community is all about visuals instead of facts and reality. He came out like, you niggas ain't doing what y'all supposed to do. Y'all don't like women. Y'all got to get on board. What's wrong with you? Y'all trying to vote for that racist? Barack Obama.
Yes, you might be wondering why I decided to attach this clip with this Megyn Kelly video. It is simply because the video is centered around them, Michelle and Obama. When you take a look at what is happening now, we have been talking about this for about 2 weeks now. These issues, racial issues happening. A lot of people often point fingers to Obama. And when I look deep into all that, though I'm not fond of it, pointing fingers at people, these people instigated some of these issues. I went through this man's comment sections to actually see what people are saying about him. I was shocked. I didn't believe that black people are standing up like this. Some understand the dynamic. They understand exactly what is happening. If you've been watching me for some time, please, let me address this. If you see my video titles, that should never bother you because I put out good information. Sometimes this platform don't favor someone like me. Yeah, I need to do extra things, before my videos can be picked up. I'm begging on you, if you're my follower, please, don't always complain when it concerns video titles. Just watch the videos. Know that I put out real information, not fake.
Legal matters that is not qualified to speak on because he tried understanding what I just explained to be the law. Watch him try to pin down Trump. And Trump, I'm telling you, Trump is a clever mofo. Just when you think he's like focused on like the UFC and like his polls.
2028. Also the first 100 days. And, this is traditionally what they call.
Not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Good.
If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense? There's no self-defense because kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts.
Because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything. And then
Registration Act is
talking about this man,
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
first term, and you will be very.
Somebody has to say it. So let me get this straight. These guys